go beyond the provision of water, electricity, waste management, and connectivity. They are necessities for social, environmental, and national development. Every project undertaken, every policy crafted, must reflect a balance between service delivery, environmental stewardship, and social responsibility. Mr. Speaker, this means strengthening our efforts to protect our natural resources, reduce waste, promote renewable energy, and support communities in need. Mr. Speaker, it means ensuring that our operations create opportunities for citizens, particularly our youth, while safeguarding the environment for generations to come. Mr. Speaker, this UNC government is willing to face the reality of the perilous situation we inherited and take corrective action. Yes, the Ministry of Public Utilities has been allocated $3.395 billion for this fiscal year. Renewal is the agenda, and Mr. Speaker, this budget, through its accountable fiscal policies, does just that. Mr. Speaker, permit me to identify some of the instances of corruption, mismanagement, and wastage which this government inherited upon assuming office and which this budget seeks to correct. Mr. Speaker, take, for example, the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Services, more commonly called the Met Office, which plays a vital role in national safety, development, and daily life. Within the 6 months that our administration has been in office, Mr. Speaker, several meetings and site visits have already been conducted with the Met Office, far more than was ever done within the last 10 years under the PNM government. And what we discovered, Mr. Speaker, was deeply troubling. Mr. Speaker, through the blatant mismanagement and neglect of the Met Office by the PNM, we are now required to take corrective action. For far too long, our Met Office has been left to take the blame for delays, outdated information, and insufficient warnings during critical weather events. They have been expected to protect lives, safeguard property, and guide national planning. Yet, for the past 9.5 years, they were provided with outdated equipment, insufficient resources, and minimal support. This inaction placed communities, farmers, infrastructure, and businesses at risk and undermined public confidence in a critical national agency. During the short time we have been in office, Mr. Speaker, we listened, we acknowledged the gaps, and today I can proudly say that through successful collaboration with the Ministry of Public Administration and AI, we are taking decisive action. The procurement of a Ranger X5 X-band simultaneous dual polarization weather radar system will be purchased and will be installed in Piaco, something that the last government could not do. This acquisition marks a turning point for Trinidad and Tobago's ability to anticipate, monitor, and respond to severe weather. Mr. Speaker, this budget allows us to do that because, Mr. Speaker, when UNC wins, Met Office wins. Mr. Speaker, this cutting-edge radar will revolutionize weather monitoring, allowing us to differentiate between rain, hail, thunderstorms with strong winds, flash floods, and even tornadoes, while filtering out irrelevant signals such as birds or debris. The radar will provide high-resolution, real-time data, which will enable timely warnings to save lives, protect communities, and help our emergency agencies respond faster and smarter. Mr. Speaker, the Ranger X5 will also integrate seamlessly with the TTMS app and social media platforms, providing citizens with live weather updates, interactive radar imagery, and instant alerts. For the first time, ordinary citizens, businesses, and critical sectors will have access to real-time actionable information. Mr. Speaker, this is not just a technological upgrade. It is a commitment to finally giving our Met Office the tools and support it deserves. Emergency responders, including the ODPM and local media, will now have access to accurate, up-to-the-minute weather data, improving coordination, disaster preparedness, and public safety across the nation. Mr. Speaker, for years the Met Office endured neglect. Today, and through this budget, we are giving them the resources, recognition, and authority to finally fulfill their mandate. This is how leadership works: listening, acting, and ensuring that the safety and well-being of citizens come first. Mr. Speaker, when we assumed office, one of the very first issues brought to our attention was the deplorable state of working conditions at the Met Office, particularly the fact that many of the air conditioning systems were not functioning. Air conditioning systems. Dedicated staff were expected to carry out their duties in unbearable heat, under conditions that were neither safe nor suitable for productive work. Mr. Speaker, we took immediate action. Working hand in hand with the team at the ministry, we resolved this issue swiftly. But this was about more than fixing air conditioning units. It was about restoring dignity, respect, and morale to the men and women who serve our country every single day. Because, Mr. Speaker, when UNC wins, workers win. Mr. Speaker, when we came into office, one of the most troubling matters brought to our attention as well was the staffing crisis at the Met Office. This is an agency that serves as the first line of defense against severe weather. Yet, despite its critical role, it had been systematically neglected. Mr. Speaker, although there was approval for a restructure of the Met Office, no action was taken to fill the vacancies. As a result of the incompetence of the last administration, the Met Office was left understaffed, overstretched, and unable to operate at full capacity. Mr. Speaker, this neglect had real social consequences. When the Met Office is short of personnel, it directly affects the timeliness and accuracy of weather forecasts and warnings. Communities receive advisories late. Farmers cannot plant their crops with confidence. The aviation, maritime, and energy sectors are exposed to greater risk. And most importantly, the public's trust in one of our most essential services begins to erode. Mr. Speaker, we could not allow that situation to continue. In the way this government operates, we listen, we engage, and we act. Together, we identified solutions, and we are now moving forward with measures to fill vacancies, strengthen human resources, and modernize the working environment at the Met Office. Mr. Speaker, our approach is simple. Respect the professionals who serve this nation and equip them to perform at their best. The Met Office deserves more than words of sympathy. It deserves action, support, and investment. And that is exactly what we are delivering through this budget. Mr. Speaker, I now turn to one of the most important structural reforms in our energy and utility landscape, the realignment of the Power Generation Company of Trinidad and Tobago, PowerGen, from the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries to the Ministry of Public Utilities. Mr. Speaker, this strategic realignment is not just a bureaucratic change. It is a bold decision by this UNC-led government to take back control of our nation's power generation, to ensure that the people of Trinidad and Tobago have access to reliable and sustainable power to meet our growing domestic, commercial, and industrial demands. Mr. Speaker, it is a matter of legal accuracy, operational logic, and national interest. Mr. Speaker, let us be clear. The Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission, TNTEC, under the TNTEC Act, is the sole body legally empowered to manage generation, transmission, and distribution of electricity in our nation. PowerGen and Trinidad Generation Unlimited, TGU, are independent power producers that generate electricity for sale exclusively to TNTEC under long-term power purchase agreements. In other words, TNTEC is the single buyer, the sole system dispatcher, and the heartbeat of a national electricity grid. Given this structure, it is both logical and lawful that PowerGen and TGU fall under the same ministerial portfolio, the Ministry of Public Utilities, which holds oversight for TNTEC. Mr. Speaker, in less than 1 month since the reassignment of PowerGen to the Ministry of Public Utilities, we have been inundated with calls about the challenges at PowerGen. Like any responsible government, we engaged the management of PowerGen with the view of establishing whether there was any truth in the issues being raised. Mr. Speaker, these issues range from a drain in our foreign exchange reserves, safety issues and contravention of the OSH Act, and employee stagnation. But, Mr. Speaker, we will fix it. And we at the Ministry of Public Utilities intend to work with the PowerGen team to fully examine the issues brought to our attention. Mr. Speaker, I now wish to focus on the critical role of state agencies in investing in our children and youth, which lies at the very heart of our national progress in Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Speaker, there must be corporate and social responsibility. In August 2025, the Telecommunications Services of Trinidad and Tobago, TSCT, under the strategic and astute leadership of the Honourable Prime Minister and the Minister of Public Utilities, demonstrated what corporate and social responsibility looks like in practice through its Future Leaders Internship Program, which benefited 600 young citizens across Trinidad and Tobago. Under the theme, Powering the Next Generation, Future Ready, Tech-Driven, TSTT Inspired, the initiative offered training in digital skills, professional development, and real workplace experience. Importantly, participants received a stipend ensuring access and inclusion for all, because opportunity must never depend on financial means. Mr. Speaker, this is social responsibility with purpose. A state enterprise using its influence and expertise to empower young people and strengthen the foundation of national growth. Mr. Speaker, some have asked whether a 3-week internship is long enough to create lasting change, or whether helping 600 young people is enough when so many more are still waiting for opportunity. But we must remember, Mr. Speaker, every national transformation starts with a single deliberate step. What matters is that we have begun. While others talk, Mr. Speaker, we have taken tangible action to equip young people with skills that matter in the real economy. Mr. Speaker, this program does not end at training. It is the first step in building pathways to sustainable jobs and livelihoods. It gives our young citizens more than exposure. It gives them hope, direction, and a bridge to future employment. Mr. Speaker, that is why I am pleased to announce that in 2026, under the Ministry of Public Utilities and through this budget, this initiative will be expanded across the public utilities sector, increasing participation from 600 to approximately 5,000 young people. And Mr. Speaker, this expansion goes beyond numbers. It creates a national pipeline for sustainable job creation. Participants will gain practical experience in technology, customer service, logistics, engineering, and environmental management, which are sectors that form the backbone of our economy. Mr. Speaker, through partnerships with state enterprises and the private sector, we are building a system where training leads to opportunity and opportunity leads to employment. This is how we shift from temporary interventions to lasting empowerment by merging skills development directly to the future world of work. Mr. Speaker, corporate and social responsibility must work hand in hand. Corporate responsibility cannot only focus on compliance. It must ensure that every dollar spent, every decision made, and every project undertaken reflects integrity, fairness, and transparency. Mr. Speaker, social responsibility, on the other hand, is about purpose and focuses on how our organizations give back to the communities they serve through inclusion, education, and empowerment. And Mr. Speaker, as we move forward, this government will be calling on all agencies and state enterprises to review and prioritize their corporate expenditure to ensure it directly aligns with the government's broader mandate of sustainable development and social upliftment. Corporate budgets drive national progress and support initiatives that strengthen communities, empower our youth, and create long-term value for our citizens. Because, Mr. Speaker, when UNC wins, youths win. Mr. Speaker, the success of TSCT's Future Leaders Program and the planned expansion under the Ministry of Public Utilities demonstrate what is possible when public institutions lead with vision and compassion. Mr. Speaker, our Honourable Prime Minister always reminds us that when we invest in our children, we are investing in sustainability, stability, and prosperity. And when we empower our young people, we secure the future of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Speaker, I want now to turn to an area close to my heart and of critical importance: environmental action. Mr. Speaker, as we advance our fiscal and developmental agenda, this government remains deeply conscious that economic growth must go hand in hand with environmental sustainability. One of the most pressing issues where this balance must be achieved is in the management of our water and sanitation systems. Mr. Speaker, for too long, Trinidad and Tobago has operated without a comprehensive long-term wastewater policy. At present, over a dozen ad hoc policies and regulations govern different aspects of wastewater management. This fragmented approach has limited coordination, hindered investment, and constrained our ability to plan effectively for sustainable growth. Mr. Speaker, recognizing this gap, this government, with the support of the International Development Bank, has initiated the development of a national wastewater and sanitation master plan. Mr. Speaker, this plan is a major step forward, a unified strategic framework that will guide the construction, expansion, and modernization of wastewater infrastructure over the next 2 decades. Mr. Speaker, it includes the development of a national wastewater policy supported by a legislative and regulatory review, a national wastewater strategy, and a process and institutional review to strengthen governance and service delivery. Mr. Speaker, the master plan will prioritize affordable, environmentally sustainable, and climate-resilient solutions, such as wastewater reuse for agriculture and industry, resource recovery, and the introduction of low mechanical, nature-based treatment technologies suitable for a tropical environment. Mr. Speaker, it will also strengthen institutional and regulatory frameworks to improve governance, accountability, and technical capacity within the sector. Because, Mr. Speaker, when UNC wins, the environment wins. Mr. Speaker, this government considers wastewater management to be as crucial as access to potable water. Mr. Speaker, we cannot claim water security while untreated wastewater continues to threaten our environment, public health, and marine ecosystems. Mr. Speaker, through this master plan, we will expand sewerage coverage, rehabilitate outdated systems, and promote sustainable practices that protect both people and the planet. Mr. Speaker, this government adopts a holistic approach to solving the long-standing problems in waste and wastewater management. We recognize that these challenges, from outdated infrastructure and limited sewerage coverage to inefficient waste disposal and environmental degradation, are deeply interconnected. Mr. Speaker, together with commitment and collaboration, we will build a utility sector that not only meets the needs of today, but also safeguards the promise of tomorrow, a sector that is efficient, equitable, and environmentally responsible. Mr. Speaker, the allocation of $250 million for rural electrification and grid upgrades, including the installation of 8,000 LED streetlights, will illuminate communities that have been left in the dark, literally and figuratively. Meanwhile, the $75 million investment in renewable energy projects marks a historic and welcome pivot towards clean energy, ensuring that our national growth remains environmentally responsible and fiscally sustainable. Promises made, promises kept. Equally significant, Mr. Speaker, is the decision to cancel the failed WASA transformation plan, which resulted in preserving 3,700 jobs while redirecting $30 million in savings to frontline service improvement. Already, Mr. Speaker, the results are visible, with enhanced water supply to regions that were forgotten. Mr. Speaker, Carapal now receives an additional 1.5 million gallons per day. Navet's output has increased by 600,000 gallons, and supply in Siparia has risen from every 9 days to 3 times weekly, while Maracas Bay has risen from 2 days per week to 5. Wow. Promises made, promises kept. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in years, we see systemic changes and improvements rather than antagonizing ribbon cuttings. Mr. Speaker, a $50 million smart metering project will improve billing accuracy and reduce water loss while addressing the exact inefficiencies that for years went unacknowledged by the previous administration. Mr. Speaker, and while others talk about digital transformation, this government is doing it. TSCT's $200 million fiber-to-home expansion will finally connect rural citizens to reliable broadband and digital opportunities. It will bring online education, telemedicine, and entrepreneurship to areas like Kumoto, Bish, and Sangre Chiquito, communities that the last administration's so-called development agenda treated as afterthoughts and second-class citizens. Mr. Speaker, let us not forget where we came from. Under the last government, public utilities became a byword for corruption, for waste, and for neglect. WASA's supposed transformation plan ended in chaos with inflated management, political hiring, and unpaid contractors. TNTech was left burdened by over $4 million in gas debt, while citizens endured outages and a rusting infrastructure. But, Mr. Speaker, rest assured, this UNC government will fix it. Mr. Speaker, turning to my constituency now. The people of Kumoto Manzanilla, like citizens across Trinidad and Tobago, deserve the same standard of service as anyone living in Port of Spain or San Fernando. This budget recognizes that truth and addresses it accordingly. We are reforming from the ground up, ensuring that no home, no school, and no business is left disconnected. Mr. Speaker, earlier on, I heard the opposition leader try to make reference to Kumoto Manzanilla, and that is actually comical and deeply ironic. The member for Rima has suddenly developed an interest in what happens in Kumoto Manzanilla. But for years, this very constituency was forgotten, neglected, and left without proper investment under successive PNM administrations. When roads were impassable, when farmers could not access land, when our children were studying by candlelight, and when water came once every 6 months, the PNM was silent. Where was the concern then? But we know the only reason for this sudden concern is a desperate attempt to score political points, which they clearly lack, given the results of the last general election. Today, instead of addressing their own legacy of neglect, the PNM seeks to create distraction and drama over internal administrative matters within my parliamentary office.
Yes.
These are not issues for the front page. They are routine internal decisions made in the best interest of maintaining efficiency and service to the people of my constituency, something that last administration would know nothing about. Mr. Speaker, it would be remiss of me if I did not examine my constituency through the unclouded lens of this budget. Mr. Speaker, agriculture has always been at the center of Kumoto Mansinala. It is one of the main sources of economic activity. More than just a means of subsistence, it has become a part of the very culture of my constituency. This budget reaffirms agriculture's importance as a sector for growth and a defense for our country's resilience. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister of Finance has laid before us a financial plan that rewards industry, supports innovation, and empowers the working class. For Kumoto Mansinala, where agriculture is both heritage and livelihood, the measures introduced are a stepping stone for progress. Mr. Speaker, lowering agricultural input costs stabilizes domestic food prices, improves trade balances by replacing imports, and fortifies the price transmission chain. Mr. Speaker, food production is being positioned as an investable, technologically advanced enterprise rather than a welfare sector with the introduction of hydroponic systems, greenhouse incentives, and irrigation support, signaling the start of agricultural modernization. Mr. Speaker, farmers' burdens will be immediately reduced in a number of ways. The removal of VAT from feed for pigs, cattle, and poultry, hydroponic and agricultural machinery is a big win for the farmers. For small and medium-sized farmers who have long struggled with narrow margins and fluctuating costs, these actions result in an immediate benefit and increased productivity. Mr. Speaker, hydroponic farming will better utilize square footage so that farmers with smaller parcels of land can now yield larger produce. Because, Mr. Speaker, when UNC wins, farmers win. Mr. Speaker, the intention to increase access to farm roads and irrigation are initiatives that are critical for communities like Kumoto, Karatal, Sangre Chiquito, and Biche, where the fertility of the soil cannot make up for the infrastructural challenges. Mr. Speaker, such actions will boost the output and productivity in these areas. And Mr. Speaker, it shows the clear intent to foster food security by investing in infrastructure, technology, and training. Mr. Speaker, the government has prioritized land regularization programs and agricultural leases. In Kumoto Mansinala, where families have inherited plots without official registration, this is especially important. Mr. Speaker, our youth can now see agriculture not as a daily struggle, but as an opportunity that can build into an enterprise with dignity, sustainability, and potential for generational wealth. In fact, during our pre-budget consultations, land security and regularization was one of the main concerns raised by farmers. Mr. Speaker, promises made, promises kept. Mr. Speaker, this is a people's budget. It acknowledges that progress must be felt in the kitchen, not only in these halls of Parliament. The $1 reduction in the price of gasoline and the removal of VAT on essential food items are acts of quiet but profound justice. For the mother in Biche who drives her children to school, this means increased savings. Mr. Speaker, these measures tell our people that this government is listening. not only to the elites, but the everyday citizen. Mr. Speaker, this government does not care about political stunts and laughable ribbon cuttings, as the members across from us. What we care about, Mr. Speaker, is governance grounded in compassion, and that is what this budget delivers. Mr. Speaker, the foundation of development is the issue of infrastructure. The wanton disregard for rural infrastructure has long been a problem for the residents of Kumoto-Mansinala. Mr. Speaker, this budget finally addresses infrastructure in a methodical and responsible way. Mr. Speaker, this government has set aside over $1.1 billion through the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure to modernize rural roads, bridges, and highways. Mr. Speaker, the people of Kumoto-Mansinala were neglected and left to languish for the past 9.5 years under the cruel PNM government. To that we say no more, because, Mr. Speaker, when UNC wins, everybody wins. Mr. Speaker, imagine over $500 million was spent on a highway that needed to be repaired immediately following the PNM's ribbon-cutting ceremony. Yet, my constituents of Kumoto-Mansinala have had to drive on roads that can only be described as craters. And Mr. Speaker, in order to guarantee that local and rural communities experience noticeable benefits, 93 distinct projects for landslip stabilization, bridge rehabilitation, and rural road maintenance have also been approved by this government. Because, Mr. Speaker, when UNC wins, rural communities finally win. Mr. Speaker, I am compelled to address a matter that is an ongoing fight in my constituents' lives, the ongoing flooding crisis. Mr. Speaker, communities in Kumoto-Mansinala see fresh damage every year due to excessive rains, which ruin crops, isolate households, and erode both land and morale. A lasting preventative solution is long overdue, and this government has finally taken strong action in that regard. Mr. Speaker, in fiscal 2026, the Flood Mitigation and Erosion Control Program will invest $238.6 million to provide long-term relief from flooding and erosion. Promises made, promises kept. Mr. Speaker, dredging and desilting of watercourses, embankment construction, and other structural defenses in high-risk locations are the focus of the Flood Mitigation and Erosion Control Program. Mr. Speaker, only because of the will of this government, the Kareem River Rehabilitation Project is almost finished, and pump house upgrades will increase the country's ability to regulate flooding. Mr. Speaker, improving drainage is a public health and community stability issue, not just an engineering one. Flooding causes health risks that persist long after the waters subside, interferes with trade, and interrupts education. Mr. Speaker, this budget's multi-year comprehensive strategy is therefore both humanitarian and timely. Promises made, promises kept. Mr. Speaker, one of our republic's most naturally blessed areas is the eastern half of Trinidad's coastline, especially the area that includes Mansinala. It is an ecological gem with enormous potential for sustainable development because of its expansive coconut plantations, profusion of wetlands, and rich wildlife. Mr. Speaker, this area has remarkable flora and fauna. Our coastline is a place of international ecological interest. Mr. Speaker, the River Swamp is the largest freshwater wetland in Trinidad and Tobago and is designated a Ramsar site. The River wetlands and Mansinala forests are home to a number of endangered species, such as the West Indian manatee, the red howler monkey, and many migratory birds. In addition to being a source of pride, this natural legacy has the potential to spur economic growth through ecotourism. Mr. Speaker, the incursion of sargassum along the Mansinala coast has impacted local livelihoods, small-scale tourism businesses, and fisheries, posing an environmental and economic problem. As highlighted by the Honourable Minister of Finance in the budget presentation, equipment provided by partners such as Japan and USA will help tackle sargassum and coastal cleanup efforts to bring back the area's natural attractiveness. Because, Mr. Speaker, when UNC wins, sustainable development wins. Mr. Speaker, this government is also investing in natural capital by directing $298.9 million towards ecotourism and coastal management, transforming environmental resources into long-term economic value. In addition to protecting biodiversity, effective sargassum management and ecotourism infrastructure build a low-carbon growth industry that may draw green investments and climate finance. Mr. Speaker, our people will be able to take advantage of the country without destroying it thanks to a tourism strategy, which places equal importance on preservation and promotion. Mr. Speaker, it will encourage small business, generate respectable employment, and establish Kumoto Manzanilla as a paradigm for balancing rural beauty with national advancement. Mr. Speaker, education continues to be the foundation around which all ambitions must be constructed. This budget's allocations reinforce the government's attitude that no child should be denied opportunities due to their location, financial situation, or other factors. Mr. Speaker, significant investments have been made to enhance teacher preparation, incorporate digital learning, and upgrade school infrastructure through the Ministry of Education. 279 schools had their structural flaws that had been left to languish for the past 9.5 years fixed by the Vacation Prepare program. In Kumoto, Bish, and Manzanilla, where a number of schools have experienced problems with leaking roofs, inadequate ventilation, and other infrastructural issues, this has already begun to directly benefit our students, thanks to the political will of this government to get the job done. Education is the equalization of opportunity. It should not only be available to those in urban areas. This budget treats it as such, coupling fiscal responsibility with an unwavering belief in human potential. Because when UNC wins, our children win.
20 seconds, unless you wish your 10 minutes.
I would like to take, yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to update the country's transport system and improve accessibility, particularly for rural populations, this government will invest in the electric bus pilot project, a major project under this budget which aims to launch 30 new electric buses by the middle of 2026. Mr. Speaker, this project, which is run by the Public Transport Service Corporation through a public-private partnership, is a component of a larger strategy to lower emissions, boost productivity, and extend routes into underserved areas like Kumoto Manzanilla. For commuters, many of whom rely on PTSC services to access work and education, the new intelligent public transport system, which includes electronic ticketing and real-time tracking, is anticipated to increase dependability. The ongoing investments in public transport reform and road safety support larger initiatives to update the nation's infrastructure. This strategy gives hope and relief to the people in the East, which were forgotten under the previous administration, where connectivity has all too frequently been associated with suffering. Mr. Speaker, promise made, promise kept. Mr. Speaker, as a woman making my first contribution in this House, I am deeply conscious. I am deeply conscious of the responsibility that accompanies my voice. Among those who have broken down barriers before me is the Honorable Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, SC, whose legacy I stand upon. Her leadership, characterized by intelligence, compassion, and determination, has changed the expectations for women in government. These same values are reflected in this budget, which acknowledges that women's empowerment is essential to growth rather than only a byproduct. More than just a policy, the growth of youth programs, housing grants, and social support programs is a declaration that advancement must reach all households, especially those led by women. Mr. Speaker, I wish to highlight an issue that touches upon both dignity and equality, that of period poverty. Across Trinidad and Tobago, and particularly within rural communities like Kumoto, Manzanilla, there are young women and girls who miss school or work because they cannot consistently afford sanitary products. We can no longer ignore this fact, and this budget makes provisions for this social issue. Because, Mr. Speaker, when UNC wins, women win. Mr. Speaker, this budget provides recognition which has long been denied to the constituency of Kumoto Manzanilla. It acknowledges that rural Trinidad must be viewed as essential to the narrative of renewal rather than as an afterthought to the country's progress, as was the case under the last government. The actions outlined in this budget, which range from agricultural subsidies to coastline conservation and road reconstruction, represent the start of that regeneration. This budget, Mr. Speaker, is a pledge to equity, revitalization, and inclusivity. It charts a realistic path to success while acknowledging the hardships of our people. It provides much-needed relief, genuine opportunity, and the comfort that their voices have finally been heard. Yes. This budget clearly puts TNT first by building and guaranteeing economic fairness through accountable fiscal policies. Mr. Speaker, I want to close by once again reiterating this government's commitment to a better Trinidad and Tobago, one step at a time. I'm confident that under this administration and under the astute leadership of our Prime Minister, our country will continue to expand in terms of justice, compassion, and unity. Because, Mr. Speaker, when UNC wins, public utilities win. When UNC wins, the environment wins. When UNC wins, women win. When UNC wins, rural communities win. And when UNC wins, Trinidad and Tobago wins. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Before I call on the member for Laventille West, can I, member, offer my deep and sincere congratulations to you for what can only be described as an outstanding maiden speech. Member for Laventille West.
Thank you very kindly, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it is both my privilege and my solemn responsibility to rise in this honorable house on behalf of the resilient, proud, and unshakable people of Laventille West. Yes, sir. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. I thank you very kindly, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this debate. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, to congratulate the member for Princess Town on this historic position today, in which she was the first woman in hijab to take the seat of the Speaker of the House. I want to congratulate her. Not only, Mr. Speaker, as a woman in a hijab, but one of the youngest members of this House. And when young people are given opportunities, I I'm always in support of it, and I salute it, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, as a new member of Parliament, I had the opportunity to peruse and examine a hefty bundle of documents prepared by the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Planning, and of course printed by the government printery. In this regard, Mr. Speaker, I want to extend my sincerest thanks and appreciation to the hardworking public servants of the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Planning, and the government printery for their hard work during this and every accounts department and every state agency that would have sought to close the fiscal year and, of course, put their plans in motion. I want to salute and thank our public servants, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Mr. Speaker, I must admit, as a newly elected member of Parliament, I did not expect my first budget contribution to be on this side of the House. I expected, Mr. Speaker, to, of course, have my first term in government, Mr. Speaker, where, of course, Mr. Speaker, I would be able not only to advocate, but with the support of the government, to action many of the plans and policies of the People's National Movement in Laventille West. But, Mr. Speaker, soon come. Mr. Speaker, I entered politics and I will forever maintain and remain with a pure heart, with a pure spirit of hope, love, resilience, and dedication to my constituency and this nation by extension, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, despite entering this honourable House for the first time in opposition, I stay steadfast to standing for my constituency fearlessly and standing in their defence, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, tonight I rise not merely to critique figures in a document, but to speak the lived realities, Mr. Speaker, of my constituents and by extension, the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Speaker, sometimes these realities of fellow citizens are often lost in the hundreds of pages in budget documents. But, Mr. Speaker, if this budget is the first true test of the UNC's performance as a government, then they have already failed miserably. Mr. Speaker, after almost 6 months in office, the people of Trinidad and Tobago have waited to see if the UNC's promises of fairness and compassion would be matched by delivery. Yet, in every community, certainly in Laventille West, Mr. Speaker, the promises have not reached our people. Instead of fairness and compassion that they promised this country, Mr. Speaker, the lived reality is pure hate and acting normal. Instead of keeping their promises to create 50,000 new jobs, Mr. Speaker, this evil administration has taken revenge and vengeance to another level. They have done the opposite, Mr. Speaker. They have fired almost 50,000 workers in less than 5 months. Mr. Speaker, these were real workers, real citizens, real mothers, real fathers, with real families to take care of, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the UNC pretended to be humanitarians in the last general election campaign, Mr. Speaker. They pretended to love every creed and race prior to election. They played on the psyche of a despondent people, Mr. Speaker, before the ink could have dried on this country's citizens' fingertip, Mr. Speaker. They waged war on some of the most vulnerable citizens who fell for their act and empty promises. Mr. Speaker, this administration's fiscal and policy decision in the last 5 months plus have created a humanitarian, social, and economic crisis in our country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, from CPAP to URP, to reforestation, to the Northwest Regional Health Authority, to the North Central Regional Health Authority, the Eastern Regional Health Authority, the Southwestern Regional Health Authority, WASA, HEC, CCC, HYPE, MyLat, MyPath, YAP, every single continuous short-term employee in every ministry, in every state agency, Mr. Speaker, were all collateral damage according to the member for Labrie. Mr. Speaker, this budget, entitled the TNT First, Building Economic Fairness Through Accountable Fiscal Policies, claims to chart a new course, but it is simply a continuation of their last 5 months in government. Mr. Speaker, it is one thing to print words of fairness and another to practice it, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as the last few days has passed and the dust has settled on the Minister of Finance slogan-filled budget presentation, one truth became increasingly clear, that the numbers on the pages simply do not match the reality on the ground. Our nation's finances tells a story of missed opportunities, Mr. Speaker, missed priorities, of strained public services, and a widening gap between those who make decisions and those who live with the consequences of them, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, while the government speaks of progress, the people speak of pressure. It is for this reason, Mr. Speaker, that I stand to give voice to the real issues, particularly those affecting Laventille West and, by extension, communities across East Port of Spain. Mr. Speaker, the government continues to blame the previous administration for everything under the sun. Yet, after 5 months plus in office, they cannot produce any single positive, tangible results. Mr. Speaker, the nation deserves solutions, not scapegoats. Mr. Speaker, according to Simon Sinek, leadership is not about being in charge. It is about taking care of those in your charge. And on that count, Mr. Speaker, this administration have failed miserably to take care of those that they are in charge of. Mr. Speaker, I move to justice and governance. Justice must never be reduced, Mr. Speaker, to headlines or statistics. Justice is about people, about fairness, access, and dignity. This administration has divided the national security into 3 ministries: Justice, Defense, and Homeland Security. Mr. Speaker, 3 new titles, but not one new sustainable solution. The last administration, Mr. Speaker, ensured that proper legislation, systems, and resources were put in place to facilitate virtual court hearings.
Correct.
Immediately save taxpayers' monies, the court's time, the defendant's time, the prosecution's time, the defense counsel's time, and limited serious security threats, and placed an ease on the resources of all parties involved, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Law Association supports virtual hearings. The judiciary supports virtual hearings. And I'm certain that all taxpayers support virtual hearings. Mr. Speaker, I have noted public statements by the member for Arang West St. Joseph in the public domain, Mr. Speaker, relative to considerations around removing and or limiting virtual appearance options from some police stations and otherwise. Mr. Speaker, to reverse that progress now without adequate justification, it places immense strain on an already fragile system. The cost of transporting prisoners across the country is not inexpensive, Mr. Speaker. Each journey requires fuel, manpower, and high security, all at taxpayers' expense. What sense does it make, Mr. Speaker, to spend millions to move prisoners and or detained persons back and forth when technology can achieve the same result with greater efficiency and safety? Moreover, Mr. Speaker, reverting wholly to physical courts exposes officers, inmates, and the public to unnecessary risk. We cannot claim to be modernizing justice while dismantling the very tools that made it accessible. Mr. Speaker, I have no reason to doubt that the Honourable Minister and Member for Arang West St. Joseph will approach this exercise with giving careful thought to all stakeholders, the fiscal implications, as well as what is in the best interest of the administration of justice. I know that my friend from Arang West St. Joseph, and I hope that he will certainly do so, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a justice system must serve both retribution and rehabilitation. But further to that, Mr. Speaker, any government that is serious about justice must acknowledge the preventative measures to crime in the most effective way to ensure a safer and productive society where our justice system would not be overburdened. Mr. Speaker, when we see the cancellation in some instances decreases in allocations in key youth and social programs across the board, it tells a troubling story, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when we see the cancellation or no allocation whatsoever for youth agricultural apprenticeship programs in this fiscal year, that is things to watch, Mr. Speaker.
Correct.
When we see the Civilian Conservation Corps cut, when we see the implementation of National Youth Policy cut, the youth social programs cut, the Youth Development Project Formulation Project cut, the Youth Entrepreneurship Hubs, Mr. Speaker, allocation cut, the Youth Business Incubator Program, Mr. Speaker, cut, the programs for young offenders cut, MILAT cut. Mr. Speaker, a whole list of initiatives and programs that continues, Mr. Speaker, to serve as a barrier, as a preventative tool, Mr. Speaker, for our at-risk youth. We are seeing now, Mr. Speaker, these things are being cut, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this budget has not placed any real emphasis on the conditions and programs at the YTC. Mr. Speaker, these young men are not lost causes. They are young citizens in need of direction, opportunity, and the kind of structure that builds men of purpose rather than punishment, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if we are serious about national safety, we must start by rehabilitating rather than warehousing our young offenders. We must invest more in literacy, in digital skills, in mentorship, and giving these young people a chance to re-enter society as strong and productive citizens of this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is no increase whatsoever in the allocation for rehabilitation, vocational programs, or psychological services. In fact, Mr. Speaker, there is a significant decrease. A nation cannot claim, Mr. Speaker, to fix crime if it refuses to fund prevention and correction. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Justice can't continue to operate on its own. They must work hand in hand with the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills and Training, the Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs, the Ministry of the People and Social Development. Mr. Speaker, when we work hand in hand with all the different stakeholders, then that is how you achieve true justice in this country, Mr. Speaker. We need all hands on deck. Mr. Speaker, you see, the true cost of neglect, Mr. Speaker, becomes routine. It becomes routine, Mr. Speaker, when we have the fall of these significant programs which seeks to protect and prevent our young people who are not in education, not in skill trainings, not employed, to stay on the right track, Mr. Speaker, or to get on the right track, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, so when you cut all these programs, and then you speak of reform, I want to ask, Mr. Speaker, reform for whom? Reform has to be for our most vulnerable citizens. You look at the very relevant Selwyn Ryan report, Mr. Speaker, on point as it relates to our at-risk youth and need to develop programs and put things in place to prevent that cycle. I call on this administration, Mr. Speaker, to put focus on our young people and to bring back some of these very essential programs that have continued to save and reform so many of our young people's life, especially in communities like Laventille, like Beetham, like Simbabs, like Mova, like Nelson Street, Duncan Street, Simple Street, Sealats, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move now to local government, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when we speak of justice, we must also speak of fairness in governance. The same inefficiencies that plague our national security system have found their way, Mr. Speaker, into local government institutions. Mr. Speaker, local government is the closest form of governance to the people. It is one of the areas where you just don't play politics, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have the absolute displeasure of reviewing the budgetary allocations to all municipal corporations in this country, Mr. Speaker, in this fiscal year, especially as it relates to its development program. Mr. Speaker, for the benefit of those listening and viewing and the viewing public, allow me to explain, Mr. Speaker, that what does the development program in local government mainly consist of? Mr. Speaker, it is where small drains are built, where the streets in our communities are paved, where play parks are built and refurbished, where handrails are installed, where traffic mirrors are installed by blind corners, where the retaining walls in our communities are fixed, where supplies like mattresses, hampers, cleaning supplies, tarpaulin are purchased for persons in natural disaster. These are the little but impactful initiatives, Mr. Speaker, that matters most to our constituents. Mr. Speaker, but to borrow from George Orwell's Animal Farm's commandment, some people are more equal than others. And we see this, Mr. Speaker, because, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to the UNC, based on the budgetary allocations in local government to the municipal corporation, it is proof that in the UNC's eyes, Mr. Speaker, the people of Princestown are more equal than the people of Port of Spain. It seems, Mr. Speaker, that the people of Couva are more equal to the people of Diego Martin. It is clear, Mr. Speaker, that the people of Chaguanas are more equal than the people of San Juan Laventille. It is clear, Mr. Speaker, that the people of Siparia are more equal than the people of Point Fortin. Mr. Speaker, this government didn't even bother to hide their hate and vitriol to the PNM-led corporations and people who they perceive to be PNM, Mr. Speaker. With evilness and venom in their hearts, they slashed the budgetary allocations, Mr. Speaker, of every single one of the 7 PNM corporations by millions. Mr. Speaker, if the approach was to cut spending across the board, then we could understand that the government is trying to reduce its expenditure and trying to reduce costs in terms of the different oil corporations across the board. But it is vividly clear, Mr. Speaker, it is pellucidly clear that it was a targeted attack on PNM-led corporations and anybody who seemed to look like a PNM. Mr. Speaker, on the other hand, the Minister of Finance has increased the budgetary allocation of every single UNC-controlled corporation to the tunes of millions, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to just take you through very quickly, Mr. Speaker, the budgetary allocations that the then PNM administration would have given in 2025 to all municipal corporations. Mr. Speaker, the PNM gave the Port of Spain City Corporation allocated $19,750,000 in 2025 for the development program. Arima Corporation, $18,250,000. San Fernando City Corporation, $20,050,000. Point Fortin Corporation, $17,650,000. Chaguanas Corporation, $17,250,000. Diego Martin, $17,450,000. Sanwa Laventil, $17,150,000. Tunapuna, $18,150,000. Sangre Grande, $17,750,000. Kuva Tabaki Talparo, $17,150,000. Mr. Speaker, Saparia, $17,350,000. Penal Debe, $17,150,000. Princess Town, $17,350,000, Mr. Speaker. All within the range of $17 to $18 million for each corporation. When we talk about fairness and governance, Mr. Speaker, we can look at the PNM, for example. We can look at that allocation and say that that is a fair amount to allocate to all of the corporations for its development program. But instead, Mr. Speaker, what did we see in this budget? What did we see when it comes to the allocations to municipal corporations, Mr. Speaker? In Port of Spain Corporation, Mr. Speaker, there was significant decrease, Mr. Speaker. We are talking about, and I'm going to go through the list, quickly, Mr. Speaker. There was a decrease in the Arima Corporation first, Mr. Speaker, of a decrease of $12,650,000, Mr. Speaker. In Diego Martin Corporation, a decrease of $6,350,000. In Port of Spain City Corporation, Mr. Speaker, $15,650,000 cut. 15 million, Mr. Speaker. In Point Fortin, Mr. Speaker, $12,100,000 cut. Wow. Mr. Speaker, in San Fernando, 1 million cut. 1.5 million cut, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in Tunapuna Piaco, 880,000 cut. But let's look, Mr. Speaker, at what happened in the UNC Corporation, the UNC controlled corporations. Mr. Speaker, they saw an increase by more than 20,710,000. In Kuva Tabaki Talpara, Mr. Speaker, an increase of 1.8 million. In Mayaro Rio Claro, Mr. Speaker, an increase of 1.6 million. In Penal Deba, Mr. Speaker, an increase of 21 million. Mr. Speaker, in Princess Town, an increase of 20 million. Mr. Speaker, in Sangre an increase of 250,000. And Mr. Speaker, in Saparia Borough Corporation, an increase of 3,700,000, Mr. Speaker. Oh. Mr. Speaker, how could that be fairness? How could that be right, Mr. Speaker? After every single line, the minister comes to tell you that local government win, that this one win, that one win. Mr. Speaker, all PNM Corporation has lost in this fiscal year. This is political wickedness to another level, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, Local government is the heartbeat of service delivery. It is where promises of the national budget actually meet the real needs of the little people in the constituencies, Mr. Speaker. Yet today, that system is failing because of the inequity that we are seeing with this administration, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as we turn to the state of local governance and the realities faced in Laventille West, we must acknowledge one undeniable fact, that when local government fails, the people feels it first. Mr. Speaker, local government was created to bring efficiency and equity to all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. It is meant, Mr. Speaker, it is meant to be the engine of daily life, ensuring that roads are repaired, grass is cut, drains are cleared, and citizens feel seen by their representatives. Yet across the country, Mr. Speaker, and particularly in Laventille West, that engine is sputtering. The termination of CPEP contractors and workers, reforestation workers and European workers earlier this year, Mr. Speaker, has left entire communities overgrown and unsafe. Grass and bush have swallowed drains and road verges. The absence of regular maintenance, Mr. Speaker, has created the perfect condition for flooding, mosquito breeding. Mr. Speaker, it is not just an eyesore, it is a public health hazard. Yes. Everywhere you go, every community, Mr. Speaker, that you turn and you look, you are seeing the state of our country. The environment, the state of our community clearly has lost with this administration. No wins there. None. Residents are living beside neglected waterways, Mr. Speaker, broken culverts. Without CPEP, reforestation, URP teams, garbage is piling up. Children must walk to school on the sidewalk, on sidewalks, Mr. Speaker, hidden by overgrown bush. Elderly citizens are fearful to venture outside, Mr. Speaker. The trucks in different communities in Laventille, Mr. Speaker, are overgrown. In fact, there was a recent landslide, Mr. Speaker, in Laventille West, in Point Pleasant Park and Block 22, Mr. Speaker. And whilst I was there assisting the residents in need, I realized, Mr. Speaker, that there is a particular track, Mr. Speaker, that used to be continuously used by residents to access their homes. And instead, they had to come up with an alternative route, Mr. Speaker. The bush is so overgrown. That cannot be the type of governance that this country deserves, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, local government workers are willing to serve, they are willing to fill the gap, but they cannot operate, Mr. Speaker, without the resources or authorization and releases from the government. Each of the PNM-led corporations, the chairman, the different mayors, Mr. Speaker, has came out publicly and said that they have just not been getting releases since this administration came into power. Not releases for goods and services. They can't even procure the simple and basic needs, Mr. Speaker. Recently, Mr. Speaker, I told you about the landslide in Laventille West. And after that, I visited the disaster management unit of the San Juan Laventille Regional Corporation, Mr. Speaker. And usually, there are certain supplies that they would give out in these times of need. And you will be surprised, Mr. Speaker, that they said they didn't have the basic things they usually give out, either vouchers, cleaning supplies, and different things when you are in need. And Mr. Speaker, they say that they simply cannot afford it. They have none because there has been no releases, Mr. Speaker. Local government is not to play politics with. It is the lives and livelihood of some of the most vulnerable people when they are in need, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am duty-bound to advocate for and on behalf of my constituents, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I take this opportunity to highlight to the Honourable Minister of Works and Infrastructure, the member for Couva South, whom I have a great amount of respect for, Mr. Speaker, as a very hard worker. Mr. Speaker, I want to advocate, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of my constituents of Laventille West. When I came in, Mr. Speaker, I would have thoroughly looked at some of the projects that may have been in the pipeline in terms of what we have been advocated for, Mr. Speaker, and I want to take the opportunity to plead and advocate on behalf of Laventille West for some projects as it relates to roadworks and drainage, Mr. Speaker. Specifically, Mr. Speaker, the Upper Parsley Street area, where there has been decay in terms of the road, there is shifting soil, persons' homes are being damaged, and so on, Mr. Speaker. I want to advocate for the Honourable Minister to look into that. I understand there has been some feasibility study somewhere along the line to see how we can look at that. I'm hoping that the Honourable Minister can put some of these projects on her priority list this fiscal, please, Mr. Speaker. Upper Thomasine Street, Mr. Speaker, has a serious road issue, where the road, of course, is broken, is sort of separated. There's a landslide. It's impassable, Mr. Speaker. And I know, Mr. Speaker, what will come in. They will say, well, it had a PNM MP there before. Mr. Speaker, my job started on April the 28th, and I will advocate and work very hard for my constituents. Yes. Mr. Speaker, I start off in opposition, but I am certain that I would not end in opposition, Mr. Speaker. I am certain that after, of course, the advocacy, and I know that the Minister will help, Mr. Speaker, but after that, Mr. Speaker, when the member for Arima takes her rightful place as the next Prime Minister of this Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, that we would get to action all of these plans and policies that we definitely can. Mr. Speaker, I want to draw the Honourable Minister's attention as well, Mr. Speaker, to Priscalands. There was a recent, could be about May, Mr. Speaker, where 2 homes would have been severely affected in terms of the collapse. I would like to bring that to the attention of the Honourable Minister as well, to see how best we can look for the solution towards it, because more homes continues to be at risk in that area. And I want to commend the member for Shogunas East, Mr. Speaker, because when that emergency did happen, Mr. Speaker, I did reach out to the Honourable Minister of People and Social Development, and assistance was given to my constituent. And I want to commend her, even in her absence, for her responsiveness, please, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I was making my plea. I was making my plea to the member for Couva North on behalf of the people of Laventille West, Mr. Speaker, and I will continue to do so. Mr. Speaker, there is some road upgrades that is needed in St. Francois Valley Road, Mr. Speaker, Upper Laventille, St. Barb's, Beetham Gardens, please, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in addition to which, Mr. Speaker, our major drains, that is in terms of in and around Eastern Main Road and Beetham Gardens, please, Mr. Speaker, the ones running parallel to the Beetham Highway, to the Priority Bus Route, as well as to the Eastern Main Road, and the major culverts that takes it south, Mr. Speaker, that they are in fact in need of cleaning and maintaining, please, Mr. Speaker. And I would like the Honourable Minister to perhaps take a look at that and see how best we can achieve that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as it relates to WASA, I want to say that there are some significant sewer issues that have been plaguing the community of Beetham Gardens, and I want to bring it to the attention of the Honourable Member for Couva South to ask for his intervention. I must admit that the WASA's executive team, Mr. Speaker, did visit Beetham Gardens with me, and we looked firsthand at some of the issues, and I hope that in this fiscal year, that the Honourable Member for Couva South, in collaboration with WASA, can seriously look at some of these of this very serious issue that has been plaguing the community of Beetham Gardens. And Mr. Speaker, I'm saying it from up front. I know that the response to it would be well, they had a PNM MP before, and the PNM government was there. I understand that, Mr. Speaker, but I take my responsibility seriously. As of April 28, the people of Laventille West gave me their stamp of approval and faith in me, Mr. Speaker, and I must advocate, Mr. Speaker, from that day forth. So I ask this, Mr. Speaker, I ask as well the Honourable Minister of Sports to look into especially the
fighting for your
what?
constituents, so to you.
Of course I want betterment for my constituency. Since I'm a member for St. Augustine. Of course I want some upliftment. Right? So I'm simply, Mr. Speaker, advocating for some of the very serious concerns, Mr. Speaker. But I want to make a very important point, Mr. Speaker. The East Port of Spain Development Company is a company that is very close to the hearts and the lives of the people of not just Laventille West, but East Port of Spain on a whole piece, Mr. Speaker. It is a state enterprise that was developed in mind with the unique areas of concerns and the at-risk youth and communities, Mr. Speaker, that forms part of East Port of Spain. And it is a state agency, Mr. Speaker, that has truly done their very best to try to uplift and develop East Port of Spain. Another PNM project piloted by the then Minister of Local Government, Minister Hazel Manning. Look, you're calling that a different name.
Sorry.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. And what I want to pay close attention to, Mr. Speaker, is that since April 28, this East Port of Spain Development Company has, one, been without a board of directors. I'm calling on the Honourable Prime Minister to please look into and to have a board in place so that different policy and different approvals could be met so that the delivery to the people of East Port of Spain can continue, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, but what was concerning to me when I look, Mr. Speaker, at the development program, the draft estimate for the development program, Mr. Speaker, I looked at the allocation for social and economic program for East Port of Spain, Mr. Speaker. In 2024, on that line item, East Port of Spain was given 10 million. In 2025, under the PNM, it was given 4 million, but expected in the midterm to increase, Mr. Speaker, and it was done the same way in 2024, Mr. Speaker. But we have seen a 100% decrease this fiscal year by only allocating 2 million to the East Port of Spain for its social and economic programs, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is concerning, and I hope, Mr. Speaker, that in the mid-year review, that the Honourable Minister of Finance and the Honourable Minister of Housing can look at that allocation, revise it, and to give the people of East Port of Spain the much-needed tools to continue to develop, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, the second line item, which is the regeneration of communities, that line 004, Mr. Speaker. In 2024, we received 5 million. 2025, 4 million, Mr. Speaker. These funds were allocated, Mr. Speaker, to do very small projects within East Port of Spain. Build stairs, small drainage, whatever the case may be, upgrade play parks, those kind of things, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, for the first time in the history of East Port of Spain, the government has allocated $0.00 to this line item. Mr. Speaker, what sort of political victimization is this? When the very company designed to develop as its core mandate these very simple and small projects, Mr. Speaker, in these communities, to receive not 1 cent towards this, Mr. Speaker, is that an indication, Mr. Speaker, that the people of East Port of Spain is not important to the UNC? Is it that they may have only been important before election, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, I call on the government to correct this, whether it is in the media or otherwise, and to allow the East Port of Spain Development Company to deliver on its mandate to the people of East Port-of-Spain, and in particular, Mr. Speaker, the constituents of Laventille West, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I see that the Honourable Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs is back, and I want to just bring to his attention, I saw there's an allocation for the refurbishment of and upgrades of the community swimming pools, and I know that Laventille West, the Laventille swimming pool, Mr. Speaker, has been done for repairs. It is my information that it's less than 100,000 to have the parts repaired, Mr. Speaker, and I am asking, in collaboration with the Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, as well as the member for Couva North, who has responsibility for UDICOT, for a combined effort to ensure that this particular pool is up and running for the benefit of the people of Laventille West. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity again, Mr. Speaker, and I want to just end with a message to the people of Laventille West, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank them firstly, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to represent them in this House and the opportunity to serve them with integrity, with decency, with hard work, Mr. Speaker, and with dedication, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, within the last 5 months plus as a Member of Parliament for Laventille West, I have rolled out some significant initiatives, have distributed over 500 back-to-school supply packages and vouchers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have created a network, Mr. Speaker, where every month, Mr. Speaker, we give out food support to members in need. And of course, Mr. Speaker, I am grateful as well. I know that the member for Shivanna East was not here when I gave the commendation, but I commend as well and gladly accept the 6-day food cards to the people of Laventille West. And we hope that for the Wali, of course, and we hope that we continue to partner in the best interest, Mr. Speaker, of the people of Laventille West. I ask the people of Laventille West, Mr. Speaker, to be patient, because whilst we may be in opposition for this term, I am certain that it's only for one term. I ask them to have faith that joy cometh in the morning. Mr. Speaker, with that few words, I thank you very kindly.
Members, before I ask the next speaker to speak, I propose to take a short break now. It's 12:42. I propose to return at 1:15, if that is agreeable. So the sitting is now suspended until 1:15. Thank you very much. Member for Claxton Bay.
Mr. Speaker, I begin by extending my deepest gratitude to the people of the proud and resilient constituency of Claxton Bay, whom on 28th of April 2025 entrusted me to be their Member of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, this is a responsibility I carry with humility, pride, and unwavering commitment. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to take the opportunity to extend my appreciation to the constituents and citizens who attended the pre-budget consultations, both in Clacson Bay and across Trinidad and Tobago. Their questions, ideas, and suggestions were not only heard, they were valued and considered. I must extend sincere thanks to the member for Faizabad, the Honorable Minister of Finance, as well as the Minister of Planning and Economic Development and their respective teams. Their dedication, diligence, and commitment to fiscal responsibility have ensured that the people's priorities form the foundation of this year's budget. Mr. Speaker, allow me to also thank the mother of this nation, the Honorable Prime Minister, whose steady leadership and guiding vision of putting Trinidad and Tobago first served as the compass for this process. Her careful and critical examination of the policies and allocations, her insistence on fairness, prudence, and her razor-sharp focus on national development has shaped a budget that is not only fair, Mr. Speaker, but one that is truly for the people. Mr. Speaker, I stand here today not only as the Member of Parliament for Clacton Bay, but also in my portfolio as the Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training. Upon assuming office, we were confronted with nothing but chaos. 10 years of neglect, incompetence, mismanagement, corruption, and maladministration within the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training. We inherited a system that was broken, underfunded, and directionless. The former Ministry of Education was bloated in scope and hollow in direction, that paid little attention to technical vocational education. Mr. Speaker, what can be described as the most egregious act of national sabotage is the systematic neglect and deterioration of tertiary education and the skills training sector. Let me be clear. Technical vocational skills training is not a peripheral concern. It is a cornerstone of national development. It equips citizens with the academic, technical, and vocational skills they need to enter the workforce, to contribute meaningfully to the economy, and participate fully in the progress of our nation. Neglecting this sector for a decade undermined the very foundations of a prosperous Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Speaker, during the period 2010 to 2015, the foundation of a knowledge-based economy was laid. Our tertiary institutions were vibrant, they were prospering, with a total enrollment of over 47,000 students, a reported 60% uptake in tertiary level education. But, Mr. Speaker, what was left in 2015 was systematically eroded by 2024. Mr. Speaker, over the past 9 years, there was a total collapse and deliberate hollowing out of these institutions. By 2024, the total enrollment across 6 major tertiary institutions dropped to just 27,000 students. Mr. Speaker, what truly highlights the past administration mismanagement and lack of foresight lies in technical and vocational skills training. Again, during the period 2010 to 2015, The Youth Training Employment Partnership Program, which we know as YTEP, was a flagship provider of community-based skills training. YTEP delivered courses in full-time centers, part-time centers within communities, and community centers across the country. Most of these part-time centers were located in secondary schools using the plant and equipment in secondary schools. This, Mr. Speaker, has stopped. The last government forced YTEP out of the secondary school system by asking YTEP to pay to use these schools, even though they received funding from the central government. YTEP therefore had to reduce their delivery of their programs to thousands and thousands of young people and only concentrate on 6 full-time sectors. Mr. Speaker, this is not just poor planning, it is a reckless squandering of public funds. At COSTAT in 2015, Mr. Speaker, we left 6 fully functioning campuses, one in San Fernando, Chaguanas, Port of Spain, El Dorado, Sandy Grande, and Tobago. You can fact check that if you want, Mr. Speaker. There were 6 fully functioning campuses. El Dorado, in particular, was known as the Academy of Nursing and Allied Health, was opened and commissioned in September of 2013. It was constructed to address the nation's and the region's need for healthcare professionals. Mr. Speaker, this all-important center is now closed and repurposed for other means. Out of the 6 COSTAT campuses, only 3 in Trinidad remain open, one in San Fernando that is being rented, one in Chaguanas that we constructed, and one in Port of Spain, with just a single office in Tobago. That is what was left for the people of Tobago, just an office. These institutions, Mr. Speaker, are now just a shadow of what they once were. Additional to this, Mr. Speaker, while enrollment was dropping, we also met with constant overlaps in programs, duplication of skilled training programs, wasting valuable resources. The National Training Agency, which is the central authority for planning, coordinating, and administering the national TVET system, was diminished due to lack of ministerial oversight. This led to a fragmented training environment with multiple agencies and ministries operating in silos. Mr. Speaker, we also met with additional issues. Training institutions were issuing non-accredited, unrecognized certifications. Certificates were given without benchmarks. The National Qualification Framework, or the Caribbean Vocational Qualification, known as the CVQ. This meant, and this is instructive, Mr. Speaker, this meant that hardworking citizens, after completing courses and earning certificates, would go to employers only to find their qualifications undermined, not recognized, and their skills disregarded. Mr. Speaker, this not only has an impact for us nationally, but also globally. By giving out certifications that are not recognized, this severely undermines the credibility of Trinidad and Tobago's workforce abroad, Mr. Speaker. The blame for this, Mr. Speaker, falls squarely on the past administration for their lack of oversight, their neglect, poor planning, and mismanagement. Mr. Speaker, this is a sad state of affairs. By destroying technical vocational education, they signaled to the world that Trinidad and Tobago's workforce was becoming less skilled, less productive, and less competitive. But fear not, Mr. Speaker, we will fix it. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister of Finance, my good friend, who I have known for numerous years since secondary school, who I would now like to call the finance czar of Trinidad and Tobago, has already highlighted that he will open the Debe campus, which will be fully operational, offering courses in law, forensics, IT, and artificial intelligence. Mr. Speaker, the Debe campus signals a revival of Trinidad and Tobago's academic potential. Citizens no longer have to travel to the East-West Corridor to access the University of the West Indies. Whether you are living in the north, whether you're living in the south, whether you're living in the east or the west, you will have access to education. Further to this, Mr. Speaker, a new construction sector skills program is being launched with a goal of certifying 250 young people, equipping them with the skills to contribute meaningful to our nation's development. Mr. Speaker, we also plan to strengthen the accreditation system to safeguard the system against institutional drift and fragmentation. Mr. Speaker, we will even go further. We will create pathways for secondary school students who wish to pursue technical vocational courses at the highest level, Mr. Speaker, by establishing the first technical vocational university in Trinidad and Tobago. Fear not, Mr. Speaker, we will fix it. Not only will we provide greater access for educational mobility, but we'll also ensure excellence. We will expand the vocational curricula, train more instructors, produce more graduates, and who are ready to meet the demands of a modern workforce. Mr. Speaker, our government is in a mode of resuscitation. We are resuscitating the drilling school under NESC, which was launched under the last UNC-led administration to supply talent for the energy industry and even those of our neighbors in Guyana. In fact, Mr. Speaker, we have plans to even support talent as far as West Africa. We are reviving the aviation campus under the UTT, commissioned in 2015 to position Trinidad and Tobago as the regional aviation hub. Mr. Speaker, where they dismantled, we will rebuild. Where they neglected, we will nurture. We will fix it, Mr. Speaker. I now turn to my own constituency. Mr. Speaker, this was a decade of neglect, disregard, outright failure. My constituents of Claxon Bay, Pointe-à-Pierre, previously known as Pointe-à-Pierre, feel a sense of abandonment and hopelessness. Mr. Speaker, in terms of the institutional structures, it is heartbreaking to know that some of our secondary schools in this constituency are in a state of total disrepair. The Claxon Bay Junior Anglican School has been closed since 2019, Mr. Speaker, citing health and safety concerns. Mr. Speaker, but hear this. The children were relocated to the police municipal building in Marabella and were forced to be shuttled to school by PTSC buses. Mr. Speaker, instead of fixing the health and safety issues reported for the school, you know what the last administration did? They stopped the buses from picking up the children, Mr. Speaker. The school is still in a state of disrepair, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Harmony Hall Presbyterian Primary School, Mr. Speaker, I visited that school twice. It is in a state of disrepair. It is a disgrace, Mr. Speaker, to have children attend an institution of learning in such a squalid condition, Mr. Speaker. I now move to early childhood centers. In my constituency of Claxon Bay, Pointe-à-Pierre, and I say Pointe-à-Pierre because that is the name I have known since I'm growing up there. There are two early childhood centers that were built during the period 2010 to 2015. One in Springvale and one in Gopolands. Mr. Speaker, these childhood centers were never opened. The state of these centers is now utterly shocking. Mr. Speaker, this is just not neglect, Mr. Speaker. This is unconscionable. Mr. Speaker, it is mind-blowing to note that the children of this nation cannot go to their early childhood centers, Mr. Speaker. It is heartbreaking. It is totally shameless, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, I am confident that my honorable colleague, the member for San Fernando West, the Minister of Education, will address the school repairs, and he has already indicated to me that we will fix it, Mr. Speaker, and we will get this thing done. Mr. Speaker, outside of the education system, I must turn my attention to infrastructure in my own constituency. For far too long, Mr. Speaker, for far too long, the people of Claxton Bay have been repeatedly crying out for help. For 10 years, Mr. Speaker, for 10 years, calling out for help. Their pleas have been fallen on deaf ears. And I need to call out the communities, because if they're up and they're watching now, they would want to know that their communities have been called out, because they have been in a state of disrepair and neglect, Mr. Speaker. Some Hill Road, Diamond, Bellevue Village, Windsor Park, Cedar Hill, Claxton Bay, Springvale, Macaulay. Honorable David, tell me when I'm going wrong. Suku Trace, Macaulay, Lalu Trace, Bandu Trace, Mangoville, Prance Gardens, Union Road, Marabella, and Gopolands. Mr. Speaker, these areas have severe flooding issues, deteriorating roads, collapsing pavement, landslip, falling bridges. This is the reality of my constituents live every single day. Mr. Speaker, but there's one item in particular that you have to hear about. Mr. Speaker, there's a primary school by the name of Union Presbyterian Primary. And about 100 feet from that school, there is a bridge. Mr. Speaker, the bridge is in disrepair, a state of disrepair. I'm sorry to use that word over and over again, but I have to use it. Mr. Speaker, the pavement, the sidewalk has fallen into the river, Mr. Speaker. For the past, it has fallen into the river, the sidewalk. The fish in the river probably using the sidewalk, Mr. Speaker. Right. The children, and this is where the children have to walk, Mr. Speaker, to go to school. But, Mr. Speaker, we will fix it. I have already spoken to the Minister of Works, the Honorable Jolene John, who immediately sent down her team, and her team came and did site visits, and project plans have been drawn up. And for fiscal 2026, I am assured that this bridge will be repaired. Well, Mr. Speaker, it would be remiss of me if I did not, as the Member of Parliament for Claxton Bay Pointe-à-Pierre, address one of the most deceitful and destructive decisions ever to have taken by the previous administration. Mr. Speaker, they thought they would make us forget, They thought they would make us forget. You know how? They thought by changing the name of the constituency from Claxton Bay, from Pointe-à-Pierre to Claxton Bay, they thought that would change the whole concept and the way people think in Claxton Bay. Somehow they thought that we would forget 2018, Mr. Speaker. But we did not forget, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, paramount of perhaps what can be described of the compendium of injustices brought upon the people of Trinidad and Tobago by the former government, Mr. Speaker. The single, perhaps biggest injustice was the closure of the Point-a-Pear refinery in 2018. Mr. Speaker, I feel strongly about this, Mr. Speaker. This singular decision I feel strongly about this, Mr. Speaker, having grown up in the constituency, having grown up around men and women who have worked from Texaco, Trinidad to Petrotrin in different incarnations of that refinery, right, who have labored in that refinery. Mr. Speaker, that singular decision crippled the communities of Gasparillo, Claxon Bay, and San Fernando. The refinery was the heartbeat of Point-a-Pear and by extension the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. It sent thousands of highly skilled workers, technicians, engineers, and operators on the breadline, Mr. Speaker. It not only destroyed the economy and the society, it also destroyed the psyche of the people of Point-a-Pear. I don't know if they understand what they have done, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, I have full faith in my colleagues. I have full faith in my colleagues from the Ministry of Energy and Energy Affairs. My friend and one of our Labour czars, the member for Point Fortin, and also the indomitable Lion, the member for Oropoch East. I know that they will fix this, Mr. Speaker, and that refinery will be back up. Mr. Speaker, the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the people of Claxon Bay have waited too long and suffered enough under the previous regime. We did not come to this House to defend failure or preserve comfort. We came to this House to lead, to serve, and to deliver for the people. This budget, as presented by the Honourable Minister of Finance, marks the first decisive step on the road to national recovery. This budget is about hope. It is about fairness, about healing. Mr. Speaker, this budget is about fixing it. We made this country in a state of disrepair. But today, we are rebuilding it, brick by brick, road by road, drain by drain, school by school, community by community. We will fix it. And if there's one thing, Mr. Speaker, if there's one thing you know, we in the UNC have proven time and time again is that we are a government of performance. We are a government of competence. And when the UNC wins, everybody wins. Thank you, gracias, and Shubh Diwali, Mr. Speaker.
I just want to congratulate the member for Claxton Bay on his maiden contribution. Minister of Finance. What do you stood up?
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one more time, the members of the PNM in opposition have abdicated their responsibility. Their sworn oath in this chamber. You see, while many of them spoke, Mr. Speaker, while many of them spoke and discussed all the important things, the leader of the PNM indicated that she had the authority. She had the authority to speak. And the leader herself has abdicated. Mr. Speaker, the PNM has fallen. The PNM has fallen.
Hey, we've gone very well. Okay. We've gone very well through the 14 hours or 16 hours or however long hours we've been sitting. Okay? Let's not engage at 2 o'clock in the morning into needless, useless, unhelpful, unproductive heckling. Minister of Finance.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, they all had the opportunity to talk. They all had the opportunity to talk, and several of them chose not to. And the leader of the opposition, she vacated the chamber. She has gone. She has abdicated her responsibility again, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and they run. And they run. The most important is, you see, Mr. Speaker, they have nothing to say because they have no choice but to acknowledge that this is an excellent budget. The opposition spoke for many hours, Mr. Speaker, and they ran out of things to say. They repeated, tedious repetition, and still had no point to make. Mr. Speaker, this will be the shortest wind-up ever of a national budget because there's nothing to respond to there. So, Mr. Speaker, on the basis of all of that, I want to thank my colleagues on this side who stood up and represented the citizens of this country while members of the PNM ducked and ran and shirked their responsibility. Mr. Speaker, it is my honor and privilege to commend this budget to the House. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move.
Honourable members, the question is that a bill entitled An Act to Provide for the Service of Trinidad and Tobago for the financial year ending 30th September 2026 be now read a second time. All in favour say aye. Aye. Any against? The ayes have it.
A bill entitled An Act to Provide for the Service of Trinidad and Tobago for the financial year ending on the 30th day of September 2026.
Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Standing Order 818, I beg to move that the Appropriation Financial Year 2026 Bill 2025 be referred to the Standing Finance Committee for the consideration of the bill together with the estimates.
The House shall now go in. The House shall now go into Standing Finance Committee to consider the bill and estimates. Members, can I crave everyone's indulgence? Apparently, well, for obvious reasons, I don't think anyone thought we would have been at this stage at this time in the proceedings. So the procedural brief that usually accompanies this is not yet ready. Mr. Lucio has kindly offered to volunteer to print it and to bring it for us. So I'm going to suspend for 10 minutes and we return in 10 minutes. Unless the members would want to convene the committee and then... Right. So I am advised by the clerk to my left, who knows this procedure far better than I ever would, and I suspect most of us in here ever would, that we should suspend for 10 minutes so that we get the procedure correct. So it is now 1:49. We return promptly at 2. Thank you very much. Where do I go? Through here? Members, my apologies, but there seems to be some sort of delay in the printing of the procedural brief. Now, it appears to me that the House, having moved into the committee, I think it's accepted that we are not going to do it now. We're going to adjourn to Tuesday to do it. I think the bugbear is that the staff feels that we should explain the process going forward now. It is normal, but I suppose as a House we can defer it, and we can defer that process until Tuesday. But I'm told it's here. All right, so shall we go ahead? For economy of time, honorable members, in accordance with Standing Orders 81.2 and 8, the estimates containing the details of the financial requirements along with the appropriation bill have been referred to this committee for consideration. The documents before the committee therefore include the draft estimates, details of estimates of recurrent expenditure for the financial year 2026, which identifies 1, the heads of expenditure, 2, the chart of accounts for expenditure, 3, the classification of expenditure sub-items under the personal expenditure, goods and services, and minor equipment purchases subheads. 4, the summary of the total allocation to each head of expenditure. 5, the sub-item details relevant to each head of expenditure for the current fiscal year and the 2 fiscal years immediately preceding. The draft estimates of revenue and expenditure of the statutory boards and similar bodies and of the Tobago House of Assembly for the financial year 2026, which identifies 1, the statutory board or body for each head of expenditure, the abstract of estimated revenue and expenditure for the year ending 30th September 2026, the abstract showing the government subvention for 2024 actual expenditure, 2025 estimates, 2025 revised estimates, 2026 estimates, and the increase or decrease of the 2026 estimates over or under the 2025 revised estimates. 4, the chart of accounts for income and expenditure. 5, the classification of expenditure sub-items under the personal expenditure, goods and services, and minor equipment purchases subheads. 6, the sub-item details relevant to each statutory board or body for the current fiscal year and the 2 fiscal years immediately preceding. The draft estimates of development program for the financial year 2026, which includes 1, the summary of estimates for the development program for the financial year 2026 for Part A, the consolidated fund. 2, summary of the total allocation to each head of expenditure for subhead 09 development program consolidated fund. 3, the item, sub-item, project group, and project description details relevant to each head of expenditure for the current fiscal year and the 2 fiscal years immediately preceding. 4, the summary of estimates of Part B of the Infrastructure Development Fund for the financial year 2026. 5, the summary of the total allocation to each head of expenditure for Head 701 Infrastructure Development Fund. 6, the item, sub-item, project group, and project description details relevant to each head of expenditure for the current fiscal year and the 2 fiscal years immediately preceding. The Appropriation Financial Year 2026 Bill 2025. The bill provides for the service of Trinidad and Tobago for the financial year ending 30th September 2026. The bill seeks to authorize a sum of $50,405,695,293 from the consolidated fund. The schedule details the sum to be approved for each head of expenditure. In accordance with Standing Order 85-1, the consideration of the clauses of the bill will be postponed until after the consideration of the schedule, which lists the heads of expenditure to be approved. The heads will be considered in the order submitted by the Leader of the Opposition. The proposed work schedule is as follows. Honourable members, there are 44 heads of expenditure to be considered over a maximum 5-day period. Therefore, I propose that the committee meet each day from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. or for so long thereafter to consider a minimum, and I stress minimum, of 9 heads of expenditure per day. Consideration of Tobago House of Assembly. Honourable members, I crave your indulgence to have the committee agree on the time for the examination of the Tobago House of Assembly and the Central Administrative Services, Tobago. On day 5, on Saturday, October 25th, 2025, I am advised, in order to allow these representatives to make arrangements to travel to Trinidad and Tobago. May I suggest that, given the order submitted by the Leader of the Opposition, the Tobago House of Assembly and the Central Administrative Services Tobago be examined at a date to be agreed on Tuesday morning, so that sufficient notification can be given to the Tobago. Speaking time. Honourable members, in accordance with Standing Order 45-1, the speaking time in Standing Finance Committee shall not exceed 5 minutes on each intervention. Each minister will be invited to make a brief 5-minute opening statement on the ministry or department's priority areas for the upcoming year. The procedure for each head should be as follows. The head and the amount to be appropriated will be announced by me as the chairman. The minister will then be invited to make a brief opening statement. The chairman, I will then propose the question that the sum proposed stand part of the schedule. For each head of expenditure, I will call the subhead followed by the item. I will not call the sub-items. Discussions can ensue on the item called or the relevant sub-item and clarification sought. Once the committee moves to another subhead, questions from a previous subhead will not be entertained. I will repeat the procedure for the development program. Once this is concluded, I will then put the question that the sum stand part of the schedule. This identical procedure will be repeated for each head of expenditure. Can I inquire whether there are any other items of business to be discussed at this point? Right. Honourable members, the meeting of the Standing Finance Committee is now hereby suspended and will resume on Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 at 10 a.m. Yeah. Members, even though I suspended the committee was suspended to Tuesday, as we are all aware, on Monday the nation celebrates Diwali. And I will now invite both sides to make short remarks on the occasion of Diwali. If I could invite the government side at first and any nominee of the government side. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, at 2:09 a.m., I would like to greet members of this House and the national community in the Hindu traditional way of Sitaram or Namaskar. Mr. Speaker, as we celebrate Diwali 2025, we are reminded that Hindus believe in Matri Deo Bhava, which means mother is our first God. And therefore, it is around Diwali time in particular that the Hindu deity, the goddess Lakshmi, is worshipped and revered. And we are also reminded that while there are grand celebrations in mandirs, Diwali celebrations, and the holiest of places, Hindus believe in Matri Deo Bhava, meaning mother is your first God, because the goddess Lakshmi herself resides in our mothers, our grandmothers, our daughters, our sisters, and our wives, and also our political leader and the Prime Minister, the Honourable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Mr. Speaker, Bhagwan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hirdharmasya, glanir bhavati bharata abhyutara dharmasya taratmanam srijamyaham. Parittanaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam dharam sansa panataya sambhavami yuge yuge. Lord Krishna says, when righteousness is on the decline, the world is in turmoil, I will come from time to time to relieve you from your problems. Mr. Speaker, on April 28, Bhagwan Krishna did not come himself. He didn't send a man. He sent a woman, the embodiment of Mahalakshmi herself that we celebrate during Diwali time, to return goodness, prosperity, happiness, the light, the divinity to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the government members, we want to say that we recognize that anywhere in which a society respects women, that society will uphold. Anywhere a society disrespects women, where we have seen glaring examples of that even in this own chamber, that society will crumble. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, as we celebrate Diwali 2025, it gives us the opportunity of introspection. It gives us the opportunity to place respect on women in particular, as the goddess Lakshmi herself represents everything that is good. And therefore, once we see everything that is good through the goddess Lakshmi, we also see everything that is good in all of our nation's women and throughout the world. And therefore, this early morning, on behalf of the members of the government, we offer our respect to the feet of the light and the divinity, the embodiment of Mahalakshmi, through our Honourable Prime Minister, who has restored good governance to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Speaker, I wish to say Shubh Diwali on behalf of the Honourable Prime Minister, members of the government bench, and may the light continue to pervade all of Trinidad and Tobago and continue to remove the darkness that we endured over the last 10 years. May Bhagwan Krishna, Mahalakshmi continue to bless all of Trinidad and Tobago during this time of Diwali. Shubh Diwali to Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you.
Member for Diego Martin West.
Mr. Speaker, we are in a holy and sacred period for the Hindu community. Indeed, one of the most auspicious in the Hindu calendar. The holy period is characterized with deep introspection, fasting, and preparation. As the world over celebrates this festival of Diwali, we in the opposition extend warm greetings to the Hindu community and to all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. We are truly fortunate to live harmoniously in a multicultural society, a privilege many around the world do not get the pleasure of experiencing. Diwali reminds us that no matter our situation, our circumstance, good always triumphs over evil, knowledge over ignorance, and righteousness over treachery. As diyas are lit across homes and communities, we are reminded of the enduring power of unity, compassion, and spiritual enlightenment. It is a time when families come together, communities are strengthened, and the bonds of our shared humanity shine most brightly. This year, as we face many social and economic challenges, the lessons of Diwali remind us that even in the darkest of times, light will prevail. Let us draw inspiration from this sacred festival to reaffirm our commitment to justice, equality, and the dignity of all. On behalf of the opposition, I extend warm greetings and heartfelt wishes to the Hindu community and to all citizens of our beloved nation as we celebrate the joyous festival of Diwali. Diwali, the festival of lights, a time of reflection, renewal, and hope, rooted in the victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. Diwali offers a powerful message: peace, love, honesty, respect. One that all in this chamber, all in the government, would do well to respect and abide by. May this Diwali bring peace, prosperity, and a renewed purpose to every home. Let us not politicize, but continue to celebrate and protect the rich cultural heritage that defines us as a nation. Shubh Diwali to all.
Members, I too should like to give some short greetings. It is a profound honor to extend my greetings on this sacred and radiant occasion of Diwali, a festival that does not merely illuminate lamps, but one which illuminates the human conscience. We often describe Diwali as the triumph of darkness, of good over evil, and of knowledge over ignorance. Yet in truth, this festival invites us to look inward, to confront the shadows that dwell within ourselves and within our society. It reminds us that the real struggle between light and darkness is not fought in distant heavenly realms, but in the quiet decisions we make each day between compassion and indifference, truth and convenience, justice and silence. At the heart of Diwali lies the timeless katha, or story of Lord Rama, the noble and beloved Prince of Ayodhya, whose journey remains one of humanity's greatest moral and spiritual lessons. Exiled from his kingdom for 14 years, deprived of his birthright, deprived of his comfort, and separated from all that he held dear in life and his loved ones, Lord Rama did not yield to despair. Instead, he embraced hardship with faith, humility, and an unwavering commitment to Dharma, righteousness. His trials reveal that the true leadership is not conferred by birth, but forged in character, perseverance, resilience, and conviction. When Lord Rama triumphantly returned to Ayodhya, the people illuminated the city with thousands of diyas to welcome him home. That light symbolized far more than joy. It proclaimed the victory of virtue, the restoration of justice, and the renewal of hope. Each year, when we light our own diyas, we rekindle that eternal flame of faith and righteousness, reminding ourselves that even in our darkest hour, light endures. The flame of Diwali is also reminiscent of the duality of life. Just as the flame illuminates, the flame can incinerate. It is the use you make of the flame. And so as we celebrate this Diwali, let us not only recall Rama's homecoming, but ask ourselves, what Ayodhya are we building today? A nation guided by decency over noise, respect over ridicule, and purpose over popularity. Diwali calls upon each of us not merely to celebrate light, but to become it, especially where light seems most fragile. May this Diwali not only decorate our homes, but illuminate our intentions, not only mark a victory of the past, but inspire renewal of conscience for the present and the future. On behalf of the Parliament of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, I extend warmest Diwali greetings to the entire Hindu community and indeed to our entire nation. May the divine light of Diwali dispel the darkness of our hearts, guide our actions with wisdom and compassion, and inspire us to live lives of integrity, service, and faith. Shubh Diwali to one and all. Okay, members, I am further advised to maintain procedural propriety that we should once again, merely for the formality of reconvening the committee stage and then formally suspending once again, even though we've done it because we came back into the House for the Diwali greetings, that perhaps we should just do that out of procedural propriety. I'm not a big fan of procedural justice, but this is what I'm advised. Thank you. Right. Honourable members, I thank you for your kind indulgences, and the committee is hereby once again reconvened, and I propose that the meeting of the Standing Finance Committee is suspended and will resume on Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 at 10 a.m. Thank you all very much.